So we can make sure we have mics. If you want to ask a question, we want everyone to hear the question, so we'll make sure you're going to be speaking up. You guys are all ready. You're on ball. Thank you, Aaron. You got everyone. All right, Megan, Joaquin, come on.
All right. I have many, my first memory at Brookside Baptist Church was actually, I think, in your first building, maybe 25 years ago. My dad was preaching there, and I just remember playing outside with the kids, and I was a young kid, and I never knew God would bring us back here, but I'm thankful for that. And through the years, just different touches from Brookside, from the church to Pastor Ken and the Helms and other families. And the Lord gave me a Christian heritage. My grandparents were Christians and very involved in ministry and missions. And I grew up at Northland Camp in northern Wisconsin, Northland Baptist Bible College at the time. And I was saved at about age 7 in simple childlike faith, just trusting the Lord. And I talked to my mom, prayed with my mom, and my dad was up at Heart Conference. Some of you remember those days. And then I was baptized a couple years later with Dr. Dennis Walton at Faith Baptist Church in Pembine, and surrendered to the ministry at about 6th grade at junior camp, Pioneer Village. And if I can throw a plug in there for camp, if you have a chance to send your kids or go as a family, it was life-changing for me, and encourage you to do that. And I got to know a lot of the families here through camp growing up, and so feeling at home with you all. Later, junior high and high school, I felt the Lord working in my life towards missions. And I took my first missions trip to Dominican Republic and met Joaquin there when he was talking about 1997. And the guys that came down and preached, I was part of that group as a young kid with my dad, not knowing that I would marry one of those handsome Spanish boys one day. I did have a crush, and the Lord brought it to fruition years later. When I was 16, my family left the woods of Wisconsin and went to the island of Guam, as my dad says, from the freezer to the oven. And now we're back. I like the oven, I think, a little better. But and in Guam, we don't put salt in our rice. And so I learned, though, I like salty rice now. But I had my last couple years of high school there in Guam. We love Asian people. We love missions, but we're thankful the Lord has brought us to the mission field of Milwaukee. The Lord allowed me, even in high school, to lead a couple of my friends to the Lord. My neighbor, she was Chamorro, a friend from junior high, she was Korean, and just seeing them. Seeing people saved at a young age, and just thinking of you teenagers as I was writing this, and how you're not too young to influence other teens. And sometimes, as a teenager, the best person to reach another teenager is you. And don't be afraid to stand and do what's right, and just encourage you guys in that way. For college, up at Northland, the Lord brought Joaquin back up to Northland. We didn't know we'd be there at the same time, but I played volleyball, loved sports, and we were at our volleyball preseason camp, and Pastor Ken was doing the devotionals, doing the challenges, and in between his preaching, he was out on the phone trying to get some student from Dominican Republic to Northland from the Chicago airport, and they couldn't find this person. And evidently he reminded me at lunch that I kept asking him, who is this person, and couple days later, I walk into the dining common, and there's Joaquin sitting, you know, lonely guy that could hardly speak English there. And he probably remembered me as this, you know, blonde girl that looked like she stuck her hand in the leg socket, because I had a perm when I was 7th grade and met him. But anyway, I did get my MRS degree after that, not intentionally, but that was the Lord's plans. And my major was English education, teaching English as a second language. So my summers of college, Guam, I was on the team there in Guam, as well as camp at Northland Counseling, and took a mission trip to Africa with Phil Hunt and a group, which was really awesome. And then my senior year, we were planning to get married that summer, but the Lord had us wait. I broke up with him and said, I'm not sure and I'm not ready, and thankfully he waited. So we got married in 2007, and we were in Guam first for a couple months, and got a letter in the mail that said that his visa had expired and we had to move. We had to leave Guam and go back to Dominican Republic, or they would come arrest him. And so we said, okay, Lord, we will leave Guam and go to Dominican Republic. Basically for our first year of marriage, left our nice little apartment to live at my Spanish in-laws' home with our suitcases and no car, no washer and dryer, sometimes no water, no electricity, no phone to call my parents and cry. So for 11 months, my heart hurt a lot. I missed home. Everything was new, and my brain hurt a lot. New culture, new food, new shopping, new driving, which I didn't really do, new family. My mouth hurt from learning Spanish. My body hurt from being sick. And new country, new germs. But the Lord brought us closer through that, and it was a very much of a faith growing experience. And 2008, before that, that's when Pastor Ken and Mrs. Helm came down, and we met Zach Warner, who's now from this church, and Holly and Tammy and one of the Yowsey boys and quite a few others. So just touches that the Lord prepared you. I was praying, Lord, prepare me for whatever ministry you have for me, and it seems like He's done that. So we went back to Guam for 6 years. And we helped with our Bible college ministry there to the Micronesian students. Some of the students, the fruit of John and Jamie Zimmer's ministry, we had their kids that got saved through their ministry in Palau come to Guam in our Bible college. And also our 3 kids were born. And Brooka Faye is 7, Ahava Hope is 5, and Jordan Joaquin is 3. And if you wonder where their names came from, they're basically 3 rivers in the Bible. The brook Cherith from Elijah in 1 Kings, and the river Ahava from the book of Ezra, and then the Jordan River, of course, in Joshua and throughout the Bible. And they were rivers or places where God did something special. God did a miracle, and so we pray that He will do that in their lives. So as much as we love ministry, we love people, we love the church, for me, I know Titus 2 is probably my goal, to love my husband, support him, help him. We love doing ministry together, to love my children. As we don't have a ministry if we can't reach our children. To be discreet, be wise, to be chaste, to keep my home, to be good. And I look to Mrs. Kellner, Mrs. Helm, others to be my mentor, and to be obedient to my own husband, whether that's Guam, Dominican, here. And so as he said, the word of God won't be blasphemed in the life. My life will show His truth. So, as God brings us back to our beloved Wisconsin, we still love the Packers. And now the Brewers, as he's into baseball. And 1 Samuel 12:24, only fear the Lord and serve Him in truth with all your heart, for consider how great things He has done for you. And we thank
you all and thank the Lord for the great things.
I was born in the Dominican Republic, excuse me, and I grew up there till I was 22 years old, and then that's when the Lord, like Megan said, moved me to Wisconsin to attend Northland Baptist Bible College, and Pastor Ken was a huge instrument on God using him in bringing me to Northland. And then after that, I went to the Dominican another year before we got married, and then she pretty much said the rest of the story. But let me go back to when I was 8 years old. My family and I were attending a particular Baptist church, and I made a decision for the Lord. And then 2 years after that, in 1990, we moved to a different church. Now, my parents got saved when I was 2 years old, so I pretty much kind of grew up in the church and going to kids program, youth group and all that. But not until I was 11 years old, I remember I was sitting in the back of our auditorium, and we had a guest speaker that Sunday, and he was preaching about heaven and hell. And I knew I made a decision for the Lord. And as he gave the invitation, I was wrestling, I was struggling within me, and I wasn't sure if I would die that day that I was going to go to heaven. So he made an invitation, and he said, raise your hand if you wanted to accept Jesus or you want to make an assurance of salvation. And look around, look at my friends, and I was like, I don't think I want to do that. And then he asked again, and then the Lord was working in my heart, and I raised my hand, but I didn't go forward. So church was dismissed, and I talked to my mom. I say, Mom, this is what happened during the service, and I'm not sure if I'm saved. And she goes, well, you need to take care of that today, right now. So we went together, and I sat down with my pastor, and he took me through Romans chapter 3 and Romans 6, where we're all sinners. We come short of the glory of God. And it's better for you to be sure now, today. So we talked about that, salvation, and what Christ has done for me. And I remember that day, October 1991, I was 11 years old, when I gave my life to Jesus. And after that, back in 1997, like I was saying, that's when the Lord was just working in my heart. And he called me into full-time ministry. And I started praying for God to open up a door for me to go to a Bible college or Christian college. And the Lord opened up a door for me to go to Bob Jones University in 1998. That was when I graduated from high school. And I said, great, that's awesome. I have some friends there from my youth group that are already there. This is great. There was one problem. I had to take an English test to go to Bob Jones, and I did not pass the first time. I had to get 500, and I got like 430. And I took it again, and I did not pass. It was like 445, and I took it again, and I was so close. I told him, please. They said, no, you need to get 500. So I took it 3 times, and I was so upset at God. I got so mad, so angry at God, because I was telling God, see, I want to serve you. I want to do this for you. And the door is open, but it's like you slammed the door right in my face. And I got really angry, even though I was still going to church and part of the youth group. And so I said, well, I'm just going to get a job. So I got a job at a bank. I worked at a bank for about 4 or 5 years. I started going to school back in the Dominican. I was a business major. I said, well, I guess I'm just going to finish this, and I'm going to make money, and I'm just going to be at church and do what I want to do. And not until 2000, 2 years later, fighting with God, But God just brought me to on my knees and said, you know what? It's either you or me. You're either going to trust yourself or you're going to trust me. And I remember in 2000, 2001, I said, okay, Lord, this is all yours. It's in your control. You know, whatever you have for me, if this is what you have for me, I'm going to do my best. If you have something else for me, awesome. And not until, was it 2001, I think, that Pastor Ken came down to the Dominican, and he was, they were doing some teaching with the pastor as well as preaching in the church. And they said, you need to go to Northland. I'm like, okay. He said, how? He said, I have no money. I can't go to Northland. With Bob Jones, thankfully, the Lord provided a scholarship. And I said, that's how I was going to go to Bob Jones. And he goes, you're coming to Northland. I'm like, all right. If you say that, I'll be there. So he left me back to the States, and then he emailed me, or someone emailed me and said, hey, are you interested in coming to North? I said, sure. I said, but I have no money. I can't afford that. And we kept, the communication going, and they said, hey, guess what? I got this email saying, someone is going to pay for your tuition. I'm like, no way. I said, yeah, there's a church in the States, and they want to take you in, and they're gonna pay your semester, and you're good to go. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. Until, actually I got this email say, hey, here's the church, they're gonna take care of you. And that's how, the Lord provided for me to go through my undergrad at Northland, which was youth ministries and Bible. And then after that, I wanted to pursue my Master of Ministry, and this same church said, hey, we'll help you out a little bit. And they helped me finish my Master of Ministry. And, once I told the Lord, I'm going to stop fighting. I'm going to trust you. And he opened up huge doors. And then went to Northland, finished there, and then went to Guam and Dominican, and that's how the Lord has been taking us, and we're excited to be here. We're looking forward to what God is going to do, and we've been having so much fun and joy, and it's been great. Just helping out with the Spanish ministry here at church, as well as crew, our singles ministry. It's been awesome. It's great every Tuesday night, as well as connecting with other folks in church. So thank you, and we're very appreciative of what God has done in our life, and how God have used Brookside Baptist Church in our lives.